Honorable Karua, campaigning in Marafa on 25th of November last year, you said, ukiangalia wagombeaji wengine utakuta kwamba ile ardhi ya jamii yao ni kama nusu ya Kenya. Ndiyo. Ukimpelekea mtu kama huyo kura yako, ataweza kutatua matatizo ya ardhi kweli?
Hiyo ni kweli kabisa, na vile nilikuwa na maanisha ni ya kwamba, for instance, my friend Uhuru Kenyatta, the family is one of the largest, if not the largest, landowners in Kenya. And if it comes to resettlement of squatters, we'll be targeting idle land, seeking to compensate the owners where appropriate. And I do honestly believe, even as I stand here, that for that reason, such a person would be less suited to implement the what people expect of the land, whatever. And to go further, there are some. His running mate is also in court over a land that is allegedly grabbed from an IDP. So those are the issues that I was talking about. I will not stand here and deny something I have said.
Mr. Kenyatta, do you own, or your family at least, own half of Kenya? And what do you have to say about what Ms. Karua just talked about?
I think I'll begin by saying I'd be very keen for my honorable sister here to take me to that land, because then maybe I can begin doing something about it. First and foremost, this issue of land is a very emotive issue in Kenya. And unfortunately, the manner in which it has been handled has not been a very professional or a manner that is really seeking to find solutions. What makes me happy today is the fact that we today, under our new constitution, have a National Land Commission, which therefore means we have an independent body that is not tied to anybody or answerable to anybody, that is supposed to help us resolve and bring about a solution to the land question, allowing Kenyans for the first time to move to find the land answer. We, as a Jubilee coalition, have, in very big detail, laid out how we intend to deal with the land question. By providing the land answer, by ensuring that the Independent Land Commission is given full support to execute its mandate. I have said very clearly that that mandate does not involve putting anybody aside. Everybody must stand and be ready to be investigated. Everybody who has been accused of impropriety, the Land Commission should deal with it, starting with myself. But I'd like to remind you, till to date, save for the rumors that have been peddled around, nobody has ever pointed out and said that I have been involved in impropriety in land anywhere in this country.
So how much land does your family own? Because there is a contention here. Some people are saying it's half the country. Some people have said 500,000. Probably tonight is an opportunity for you to clear this matter once and for all.
My family and myself own land. And I personally also own land. And we consider land to be a factor of production. We have not, in any place, acquired any land illegally, except through willing buyer, willing seller, and to use it as a means of production to boost our own economy. And that is what we have been doing and have established and are on record. The Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned the fact that land is not an issue, is an issue, that we have these extensive tracts of land, half provinces. Today my sister is talking about half the country. He has been in charge of this government for the last 5 years as Prime Minister. The Minister of Lands was appointed by him. To date, there is nothing that they have put forward to prove those justifications.
Prime Minister, Mr. Raila Odinga, he says that you have been quite literally in charge of the land ministry. You've been saying, recently you said in Kapenguria that he should give some land to IDPs, and yet the Minister for Lands, James Orengo, is directly supervised, actually appointed by yourself. What have you done? It's been 5 years. Why haven't you taken him to court?
Well, Joe, let me begin by saying that I believe that in this country, there is enough land for each one of us needs, but there is not enough land for each one's greed. Land, as you know, was at the center of the struggle for independence of this country. It is a shame that today you go to the coast and you find people, they are squatters in their own ancestral land. They don't have titles. The same thing you find in Central Province and also in the Rift Valley. This issue was never settled. That's why it has remained contentious up to now. What we did was first to have the legal framework, the new constitution, which has got a very elaborate chapter on land. Secondly, we now have also a national land policy, also developed through the stewardship of my Ministry of Land. Then we also have now a National Land Commission. So we now have a legal framework to deal with these issues of land policy. And we are saying that the commission will be enabled to work independently. Ask yourself, why did the president refuse to gazette or to appoint the commissioners all this time, despite the fact that even the court ordered him to do so? Because of vested interests. Vested interests who do not want to see proper reforms on land. And these interests are somewhere else. We are not saddled with issues of land. But we have got people here running for this in these elections who have got cases. My brother has got cases, issues on land ownership. There are others who have got cases in land. You cannot allow hyena to protect your goats. And that's why you're saying that we are better suited.
Your time is up. I believe your brother you're referring to is Mr. Kenyatta. Please.
Thank you. I've just heard my good brother Raila say that I have many cases pending before court. I'd like him maybe just to cite a few.
Mr. Odinga.
Didn't get that,
Yes, he says you've mentioned him as having some cases in court, and he doesn't seem to know which ones they are.
No, I say some people, his running mate is known to be having cases with his own neighbors in court. I'm saying that me and my colleague, my running mate, are not saddled. We have no conflict of interest as far as land ownership is concerned. In defense of my brother, Uhuru Kenyatta, he was just an innocent inheritor. He did not commit the original sin. And I think the country should sympathize with him. But the issue is that there was a betrayal of the freedom fighters, the original freedom, the struggle. Those who sacrificed most were completely abandoned by the leadership. And that's the reason why this issue has remained a contentious issue for all this time. And it's now we have a National Land Commission which will be given powers under my government to deal with these issues comprehensively, respecting the sanctity of the title.
Ms. Karua, you've been raising your hand for a while.
Yeah.
Is it this problem of ownership of land? What is the problem with that?
It's just the land, and I want to say there's very thin distinction between family land and one's land, because what we are talking about is conflict of interest. So I wanted to give my brother Uhuru a concrete example. Taita Taveta, his family and one Basil Criticals literally own most of the land. And recently, he is reported as having given the Tavetas 4,000 acres. Now, how would he deal with that issue? Because the Tavetas need to be rescued from being squatters in their own place. And these are the issues that we are raising when we talk of a person whose family owns maybe the largest tracts of lands. Half may be an exaggeration to drive the point home, but the largest landowner, how do you resolve that?
Okay, Mr. Kenyatta, please.
First, I want to address the issue of the largest landowner. In the previous parliament, of which Ms. Karua was a member, I think that question was raised, and the answer is clear. And the question was raised as to who are the largest landowners in this country. My name and the name of any member of my family never appeared on that list. So I think we need to clarify that first. The second aspect is it is indeed true we do own land in Taita Taveta. We own 30,000 acres as a family in Taita Taveta. He's mentioned it, that's correct. But in no way do we own, as they say, the province. The largest landowner in Taita Taveta County is actually the government of the Republic of Kenya, and also the trust lands that are there. And that is why I have stated severally again that what do we want to do as a Jubilee government? We want to ensure that that land on which people reside and are called squatters is indeed adjudicated so that people can be given the rights to that land, the title to that land, in order to be able to move on with their economic activity. I'm glad she's also stated that the squatters who were actually on our land have actually been settled through, and we have donated that land to ensure that those people are properly settled. And those are the only ones who were on our particular land, which we actually donated to the squatters who are living there. But as to the rest of the land, what you need is a clear policy, and that is why we keep saying this 67% of the landmass of Kenya that remains unadjudicated, that people reside on, needs to be adjudicated and people given title in order for them to engage in economic activity.
The mistake we did is there's a lot of money up there. The only solution is we bring it to normalcy. If we say the president of this country will earn 100,000 and a lecturer in the university will get 120, with all these responsibilities, nobody will go. You just look at what am I supposed to do, what is the pay, and if we agree and work on that, nobody will. I asked so many councillors, county reps, when they were coming for certificates, why do you want to be a county rep and you can serve Kenya in a better? They were saying, "Ujasikia mshahara ni 300,000." I don't know who will say this. So the only way is we reduce that madness in payment. Let it be normal. And in Europe and the developed countries, you will see somebody with a master's just going for a just manual shop, arranging boxes in a supermarket because it pays better. The other thing is we need to have spiritual leaders. Jesus Christ is a role model. He is a leader who will ensure that everybody has eaten before he eats. Jesus could not be driven home with a convoy of 6 vehicles while it is raining on innocent Kenyans at the stage. If Jesus was a leader, he could not crown himself. The Remuneration Commission will say, we have proposed 1.75 for the president, and then you want to be the president, then you laugh, yeah, it's good, it's good. No, you refuse. Where will this money come from? This money will be collected from the ordinary Kenyans who have problems with the rent, with the transport, with all these things. So we need to reduce that madness. Number 2, we also want to have leaders who serve humanity.